Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to start coding something. Now some of y'all probably heard about this before on other videos, but there are some of y'all that hadn't known how to do this from certain YouTubers because when I found out about this, it was hard to find a specific channel who owned these kind of videos. So I decided I just going to kind of put some videos with similar contents that I got off of the other YouTuber. So this tutorial is most likely based off of Rookser's Fork Scratch tutorial, or how do you pronounce it? RYXR? I don't know. Rixer? I don't know. It's something weird. Okay. So we're going to make a 3D engine. So I'm just going to name it, whoops. What is my keyboard doing? Okay. So I'm going to go, I'm just going to name it 3D, test, all caps on this one. And I don't need this weird thing. This like weird cat dongle thing. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Now, we kind of need one costume here called blank. And then we need this to be big. Trying to make sure I didn't mess that up. Pretty hard to see the things. I'm going to turn the brightness up. I don't think the brightness will change for y'all. It changes for me though, so yeah. Convert to bitmap. Going to use this. Gonna fill it up black. Okay, that kind of caused lag. Okay. So, we're going to go to code here. And what I like to kind of do here, I'm going to make some variables. Don't need that. I'm going to go. I want to add camera X, camera Y, camera Z. Now, if we want rotation matrix, I'm going to do cam Xter and camera wider. There you go. And I'm going to close these off. And I also had touchscreen too, so I don't necessarily have to use the mouse. But it's some purposes I kind of do need to use the mouse. Like for duplicating blocks, I kind of have to hold Control Alt and then just drag the block. It will duplicate just that one block without the whole blocks being moved. So what you want to do here, you want to grab this block here, the green flag, click, set camera X to 0, set camera Y to 0, oops, set camera Z to 0, and don't forget that you also need to set the camera X to 0 and camera Y to 0. Since that actually is needed. Go down to my blocks. Oh. Okay, before you do that, make sure you add the this pen extension, because it's going to be used to draw and hide the sprite too. Actually before we use the pen extension, we're going to switch costume. So we're going to just use the switch costume blocks here. We're going to actually set this to blank. The big costume is kind of necessary though. It's just you need it hidden though. So we're going to have to set the size to like a big number, like 9999. Yeah, like 9,999. We'll go with that. And you can see when you click this, you can see the size is like really big. Yeah. What would happen if you show the sprite? I'm surprised it don't cause lag for that, you know. This background, we might do something with that in another video. Because like I want the background to follow a perspective for 3D as well. I'm actually going to save this to the computer real quick so I don't end up losing progress, just in case if there is some kind of corruption. Wait, what did I just save it to? Oh, it's an SP3, not a PMP. I was like, I thought I saved it to another folder. Okay, so create a block, name it go to pipe symbol hun. I hit the wrong key. I hope I hit control backslash. I hope that don't do anything here. So we want to press go to X with the input of X, label Y, input Y, label Z or Z, however you call it, and then label it Z. Well, I call it Z here. For some of the viewers that came from the UK, they would call it Z as well. They would say H instead of H. So yeah, it's normal. Well, I'm in US, so I would just say Z, not Z. Yeah. So you want to get this operator here. Now this is actually the necessary thing for 3D. Yeah. So you now this will be a little bit easier. So I can just make something called focal length. Oops. I don't even know what I... Wait, how you... Okay. Oh my god. I don't even know how to spell length. I forgot how to spell length. I don't know how that happened. Well, you don't necessarily have to do that if you don't want to. You could, yeah, I'll just leave it out for now. If you know how to spell focal length, you can just pop the variables in, like, in this side here. Duplicate this. And this is how the 3D is going to come. You want to take these divisors. So you want to put, so you want to set go to X divided by Z. And then go to Y divided by Z. But if we had a focal length, we want to set the focal length to 300 and then pop that variable block here, set it 300. We'll put 300 here too. There we go. Now this is a bit wild here. Well, actually we're going to set Z, our camera Z, to like -200. We'll do that for now. And then I can just press Control S, it will save it, so I don't have to keep doing that. Yeah. Sometimes I do have to get close to the computer just to kind of see these things like closer, because sometimes like the computer, like I see the things on the computer a bit different than how y'all seeing it. Yeah, like not just a different resolution, but it's like, whoops, okay, I don't want to put that there. That will screw the block, and it will probably break my computer doing that. Never put a forever loop inside of a custom block that runs without screen refresh. Make sure that runs without screen refresh real quick. Yeah, it is. Okay. You got to double check those, make sure yours is set to run without screen refresh. You're going to grab a less than block. Grab a not operator block. Put this operator in the not operator. We want to put our Z, put the block Z coordinates here, and we'll make sure if we want to have it set to if not Z less than 30, then we want to go to our 3D space formula here. I don't know why is it lagging a little bit. That's kind of weird. Now, another thing we want to do, we want to have a block called draw, and then you want to add inputs X, label Y, input Y, and then label Z, input Z. Run without screen refresh. And with this block, you just want to drop this block in, but don't just pop these variables in. You want to grab the minus operators, and you want to do this 3 times for these filled variables. Drop the X in this one, drop the Y in this one, drop the Z in this one. And this is the block that we're going to subtract our cameras, our camera movements. So cam X here, cam Y here, cam Z. Yeah. Clean up blocks. Oh my god, I don't know how the blocks just went to the center. Okay. And now if you're on Turbowarp or you have modded Scratch, you can find where it said make space. Now, not all versions, most of the time when you're on regular Scratch, you don't see this. When you're using Turbowarp or Penguin Mod, or you have Scratch add-ons used on native Scratch, then you'll have this button here called make space. So you want to make space here. This is when we want to add our loop. So add a forever loop. Go down to the pen here. Erase all. And then this is probably like the trickiest part here. But this is actually the coordinates of drawing each individual point. This is actually to set the points. And it had to move just in a certain way so that it actually renders. So first we want to set all of these to -50. It don't have to be -50, but it's a lot easier to calculate when they're like in like a tens digit. So you want to duplicate this, move this 50, so it'll draw a line like that. So you want to put a pen down here. Also put a pen up here. Now, if your device doesn't have this feature where you press Control Alt and then drag this block and then it duplicates, then you can just drag this here to pop these numbers in, or you can just move the pen up out of the way and then just duplicate these blocks. It doesn't matter. Make space again. I don't know how I'm running out of space that quick. And I need to move that to 50. Well, change that to 50. And then make that -50. And then make this -50. And what it will do, it should draw a square. Since that we hadn't done anything else with the pen's color or size, it will just draw it in blue at the size 1. You can see here it's blue at size 1. And now the problem is we can't move right now because we don't have movement controls. But we're not going to worry about that right now because we want to render the full cube. And this is when we're rendering the full cube. So you want to change this to 50, and you can see it will kind of draw a line here. I don't know why it has these weird dots in it. Does it show in full screen? No, I'm not sure if it will show for you or not. It's just my computer resolution. It kind of has dots. I'm not sure if it shows for your device. Now, if you're watching this video on a Chromebook with the same size screen, like as most Chromebooks, like a Lenovo Chromebook, something like that, you will probably see those dots too. Just at least if you have a 1080 screen, or if you have a full HD screen, like almost 4K, something like that, you will end up sometimes run to these points where you have these dots here. So I'm going to duplicate this, and I want to move this here like that, and you can see it will draw a line there. But one of the weirdest parts is you're going to have to duplicate this block, change this to -50, and then duplicate the last block, put it back, so you have 2 of these, so it will draw a line from here down here and then back up, so that you're ready to draw this way. Yeah. So now you should be ready to draw this way. The reason why this block has to run in a forever loop and erase constantly, because if you don't and you start moving around, then, if you don't have a loop, then the square will just stay still. And if you do have a loop but no erase block, then you just draw multiple squares at once when you move around. So this is just used for the refresh the block. Now, duplicate this block, change it to 50, and then you want to duplicate this block here, change that to -50. I'll make space here real quick. Duplicate this block. Well, on not that block, but duplicate that block so that you'll be drawing here next. And then, I mean, you can pause the video or slow down the video just to take a look at these numbers real quick if you need to. Like, this will be the current looks right now. You can pause it right here so that you can pop these numbers in on your game engine. Yeah. And we'll continue here. This will be -50 because we want this to go that way. So going this way, that's why it draws like perfectly this time and not like mirrorized like the cube is mirrored. It will do that sometimes. So -50 right there, and you want to have this be -50. Duplicate this block here, and you can see it does that. Now this is the last part here. This will be the last line system. We need 2 more blocks for this though. So -50, it should move Y down like that. And to make sure that this line right here is smooth, I'm also going to change this to -50, which is the Z. It will go that way. So it looks like it's finished. Now, you can just duplicate this block, put it underneath the pen up, and then just set these to 0, and it should like reduce any of the leftover drawing effects on the screen. Even though it doesn't display, it should fix the leftover drawing effects. Sometimes when you have another cube here, you'll have like a random line just drawing to it, to another block or something like that. That ain't good. Sometimes you have a line drawing here, but like it will eventually fix itself. It depends on your device. Yeah. So we're actually going to kind of simplify this code a little bit. But well, for now, we're actually going to have, well, we're going to do that on another video. So I'm just going to duplicate, not that caused a lot of lag. Duplicate this. Well, actually, before we add camera movements, we're actually going to do the rotation matrix right away. So I'm going to do, I'm just going to put like in short form. So I'm going to put like Y, which stands for rotate Y. This will for the Y axis, so it's going to be like X input X Z with input, like Z with input Z. It's going to be like that. Oh, don't forget the direction. I'm going to make this variable D. Drop this here. And now, oh, I forgot some other variables. Don't forget you need RX, RY, I don't know why it disappeared on that, and RZ. Now, my Chromebook has autofill, so it would do that. Okay, so you want to set the RX here, put the RZ here. Now, this might be a bit tricky for y'all because this will kind of involve some trigonometry. Yeah, so if you're not too familiar with it, you can just kind of watch carefully what I'm doing here. You have to put a plus here and a minus here. We're going to put a multiplication block here. I'm actually going to kind of do this a little bit quicker. I can grab this and change this to, I'll change this to sign. Duplicate Z's. And then this one needs to be cosine, as well as this one also needs to be cosine. After that, put the Z in the first side, and then you put the X in the second side. Make sure that's RX and RZ right there for those variables. And then pop the direction variables in here. So you can see that part's done right there. Control S real quick. Yeah. And then for here, you need to add the rotation deal here. So put this here. Drag this up. Then drag this here. We also need another one of these. Delete that. Change that variable with the camera wider. And then put a 0 in here. So 0 minus camera wider. And then you need to add an RX here. And RZ here. Coding checkpoint. So, dang it. Wrong button. Okay. I meant to save it. There you go. Yeah. And then you want to make another block here. This one should be a bit quick because all you have to do is duplicate that block and just change the variables. Yeah. So I'm going to create a block. And this is called rotation X. And this will be for like the vertical looking. And you have to set this to Y, input Y, Z, input Z, dir, D. Make sure all these run without screen refresh. Make sure that all the custom blocks that we're making here runs without screen refresh. Because if they don't, you may have some bad drawing issues on the screen. Or you may have some kind of bad calculation or slow calculation because it's not happening in a single frame. Yeah. So we're going to just duplicate this by just only holding Alt and not Control Alt. Yeah. Or you can just right click. We're going to replace that with Y. Well, we're in Turbowarp, so all you have to do is most likely right click this block and you can change it there. It only works in Turbowarp though. Now, you want to change the RX with RY. And fix that block. Okay. Make space with this block set here. And we need to add the rotation X. And it goes right here. I don't even know if it matters that kind of order or not. Now, the Z, you just want to put that there. Duplicate this and change camera wider with camera exter. Put that there, replace that RZ with an RY. So it looks like that. Clean that mess up. Now, over here where we had this flag click thing here, you want to put your forever loop here. Now this is going to be a bit weird, but we're going to have some change blocks here. So we need to have these blocks here, camera Z. So we need cam Z. Okay, not one. It's not one. Okay, I don't like how I can't scroll there because I kind of need that room. Oh, I guess that block is fixed there. Okay, and you need a multiplication block and another multiplication block, which that one had to be in that one, and in the middle you kind of need another trigonometry feature, and it should balance out the movements along with the rotation. Yeah. So we're gonna kind of put a 5 here, and we're gonna have to put the camera widers. All this is based off the camera wider because we don't need the rotation for it going up or down. Yeah. So right here, don't forget we need a minus here because this right here is supposed to be a keyboard inputs. So we're gonna grab this here, gonna put that here, and then move this over here. And then this can be the W key, and this can be the S key. I just hope I do the math right. meant to duplicate by that. And then this should be cosine. So I'm going to put cosine here. And then this needs to be the left and right movement. So this one we need to be DA first, and then A. And then duplicate this top one here. Replace that with cosine. And then duplicate this one. Replace that with sine. And change that 5 to -5. There's a reason for that. I just don't know why. There is a reason for that. Now go here. You need to have Z's here. Now actually we're going to do the change camera Y first. Not camera Y, okay, camera Y. And we need to have this block here. It's going to pop a 5. And we want to go up by pressing space. And then go down by pressing... It's not there. But we can fix that by just grabbing this join block. And then just delete this side. And just press. And just type in shift. And that should be the keys on your keyboard, the shift key. And this should be the standard control scene. And sometimes it don't work, but it should work on this one. Now if you are on Penguin mod, then this will already be built into that input. Yeah. Now this is the direction variables. So we want to have camera Y dir here. Then camera X dir. And then this will be based off the arrow keys. And we also don't need that. And now the camera Y dir is like, since the Y axis you move left and right for this. We want to go right arrow and then left arrow. Okay. Oh no, I put that in the wrong spot. That's fine, I can just swap it. Yeah. Or I could just rename these, but I would just swap it. Yeah. So, yeah, this is for the left and right, this is for up and down. So, up and down, this need to be the up arrow first. And then the down arrow. Yeah. Now we're just going to make sure that it still renders. And it's not rendering. I don't know what's going on. Okay. I just hope that is not because I put one of the blocks in backwards. Trying to make sure I didn't put the blocks wrong way. Okay, I just need a... Oh! That's the problem. Okay. Make sure that when you duplicate these blocks to put underneath this block, make sure you only replace these X's with the Y's. Okay. There you go. And it should function like this. And yep, the shift key does work. Now, this is another problem where you kind of infinitely look up and down. To prevent this, go to the controls. And then you need these blocks to be at the top so it doesn't glitch. But first, you need these if statements. You need 2 of them. Actually, we'll just delete this one real quick, because it will be a lot easier than just having to randomly keep going grabbing operators. But we need a greater than block. And we need to have... And then we need to have the set block. And this will be for the camera X dir, because you need to have a max up and down looking, because in real life your head don't spin in the Y axis, or your head don't spin like this infinitely. Well, actually your head don't spin like this infinitely, but in a video game it'll be like your body just turning left or right after you're looking, so it wouldn't really hurt anything. Just the look infinitely left and right, but not up and down. So, okay, what am I doing? Okay, so I need to grab the camera X-dir. So the camera X-dir is greater than 90. Then we need to set the camera X-dir back to 90. And then the camera X-dir is less than -90. Then we need to set this to -90. And kind of, well, I'm not sure these, yeah, I don't know. There is some shortcut keys for that. I guess I don't have it. So, like, you don't have to necessarily do that, though. It's just sometimes you can if you want to. Now, you need to put these blocks at the top of this, because if you don't, you're going to have, like, a bit of a shaky kind of, you're going to have a bit of a shaking kind of glitch here. And it, okay, well, not above the whole thing, but should at least be above those movements. Now, we can kind of redirect those if we need to. Huh, why is it still doing it? I don't know. I'm going to try it down here. I mean, the last time I tried down there, it bugged the same way. Huh. Now it's not. I guess it's different on Turbowarp than Penguin Mod, because on Penguin Mod, it wanted me to move these blocks up. Yeah. So it works now at the very bottom. That's kind of weird. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. Okay. I mean, I hadn't done this keyboard scene in like a long time. I normally use like a different keyboard layout for certain gameplays. Well, you can see we have a 3D cube, and for multiple blocks, this is kind of a little bit different because our video is already long. But I'm going to put the multiple blocks thing in another video. So make sure you save your project by, if you're on, well, most of this time you kind of have to be on computer to do this kind of code thing. Or you can just connect like a Bluetooth keyboard to your device, and then you can run this. Yeah, it'll be fine. And then you want to just click save or just press Control S. It will save it. And then, well, I named mine 3D Test, but you don't have to name it 3D Test. You can just name yours 3D Engine, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Smack that like button, press the bell to get notifications, and like check out, like, okay, not check out, but Go look at the post, and go look at the post on my post tab, and then make comments for what kind of videos I should be doing, what challenges I should be doing in them. And I will see you next time. Bye. Dang it. Bye.